In this video, I'm going to show you how to answer the hardest questions that are to do with percentages in your Maths Level 2 Functional Skills exam, and that is what we call reverse percentages. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to answer this question that we've got on screen. But let's dive in, have a little look at the method. So reverse percentages, what are they? Basically, reverse percentages, it's all about finding out what the original price of something was. So if something's on offer, it now costs this much, how much is it at full price? Basically, that's what we're looking at. And quite often it's hard for people to get their head around these types of questions because you don't do it in the same sort of method as you would a normal percentage. It's quite common for people to work out what the percentage is of the new price and just add it on. However, that would be wrong. So if we look at this one as, for example, in a sale, a laptop has 30% off. It now costs £350. What was the original price? So if we work out what 30% of the 350 is, and then just add it back on, we wouldn't be working out the correct price because that 350 isn't 30% off the old price. Does that make sense? So that 350 has already had that 30% taken off. So 30% of that is not 30% of the original price. So how do we go about getting our heads around these types of questions? So looking at this, as the customer, you're paying 70% of the full price because it's had 30% knocked off, so you're paying 70%. So 70% of this laptop is worth £350. What we need to do here is to find out what 1% of that is. That would be dividing it by 70. Because that is only worth 70%. So if we're dividing it by 70, we'll find the value of 1%. So if we do 350 divided by 70, that gives us 1% of the full price, which is 5. Now, what we need to do is to find out what the full price is, so 100%. So now we know what 1% is, we can times it by 100, and we've got the value of 100%. So 5, so our 1% value, so £5, times 100 equals a full price of £500. So with these, it's just recognizing that the value you're dealing with has had a percentage taken off of it or added on. We do have increases as well. So we've got to use that to find out what 1% is and then times it by 100 to get it back up to the original full price. So looking at this next question, we've actually gone up by a particular percentage. So it says after a 3% pay rise, you now earn £21,218 per year. What was your pay before the pay rise? So we've got to find out how much you earned before you had your pay rise. So with this one, it's always thinking about your original value being 100%. And then it's either plus or minus whatever the percentage is it's gone up by or it's on offer for. We've got £21,218. Now, what we're going to be dividing this one by is 103. Why are we doing 103? Because essentially it's your old value plus 3%. So what you earn now is worth 103% of what you earned before. So whereas before we took the percentage off, we've added it on now. So this is worth 103%. So £21,218 divided by 103 will give us the value of 1%, which is £206. Now, again, as I mentioned before, we always want to find out what 100% is because your old value represents 100%. So we're going to times that by 100%, and that gives us an answer of £20,600. And that's it. There we go. So what I want you to do now then is have a go at these couple of practice exam questions. So these have come from level 2 functional skills maths papers. Have a go at these questions. Let me know in the comments if you get these ones right or if you've got any further questions, if you got them wrong. And I'll go through the working out in a second. So just unpause your video once you've got an answer. So a newspaper report says that a company made £700,000 profit last year. It says this was 12% more than the year before. Work out how much profit the company made the year before. So it's had an increase of 12%. So this 700,000 represents last year's profits plus another 12%. So that's 112% of last year's profits. So what we're going to do is 700,000 divided by 112 and then times it by 100. So 700,000 divided by 112 to get the 1% value, which is 6,250. Once we've got our 1%, we're going to times it by 100 to get it back up to the 100% value. So times it by 100 to get it back to what it was before, which is £625,000. That was last year's profits. Now you can actually do a check of these. Now we've got what the old value is, you can actually find out what 12% of that is and add it on. So do a normal percentage and you should get 700,000. So it's just a way of doing a little check to make sure you've done it right. So let's have a look at this next question. It took Kyle 45 minutes to complete a 5-kilometer run. This was 5% longer than his previous time. How long did Kyle take to run his previous 5-kilometer run? So that's essentially saying that the new one that he's just done, the new run, was the time of his old run plus another 5%. So it took 105% of the time of his old one. So if we do 45 minutes divided by 105%, that will give us the value of 1%. So 45 divided by 105 gives us 1%. So 0.42857. I'll just do it as that. And then we're going to times that by 100 to give us 42.857, which we're going to round to 2 decimal places. So we're going to times that by 100, and that will equal 42.857. Now we need to be at 2 decimal places. So because of that third one being a 7, we're going to round the second one up to show it at 2 decimal places. So that's going to turn the 5 into a 6. So at the time, we're looking at 42.86. Okay, so that brings us on to our final question, the exam question from City and Guild's Level 2 mock exam maths paper for functional skills. This is a 3-mark question, if I remember correctly. It says a shop has a sale. There's 30% off all black tag items. So we can see this black tag item, 30% off, reduced price is now £21. One day this notice appears in the shop. So for one day only, black tag, an extra 25% off the marked reduced price, better than half price. Customer complains that the notice is misleading because it's not true. Is the customer correct? Explain your decision. Okay, we won't necessarily do that bit, but is the customer correct, do you think? Have a go at this question, see if you can actually figure out how to do it. And let me know in the comments if you managed to get this one right. Okay, so with this one then, hopefully you've got on okay with this one, but it's a good example as to how you can see these types of exam questions and you can look at them and think, okay, what do I need to do first? How do I know this is a reverse percentage question? That might be one of the things you might be wondering. How do I know this is which bits are reverse percentages here? So the top bit is the reverse percentages. Now to identify reverse percentages as your question, if you've been given an offer that's got a new price, it's an indicator you're going to need to find out what the original value was. So it's a reverse percentage. The second part of the question here, and this is a good thing with City and Guilds, you can kind of work your way down top to bottom and you're doing everything in the right order, is a normal percentage. So we've just got to find out what 25% of that is, that £21, and take it off again. But that first bit is the reverse percentage. Now, why are we having to do the reverse percentage? Well, the reason why we need to do the reverse percentage is because we need to be able to do a comparison to what the offer should be and what the offer is actually doing, if that makes sense. So we need to be able to find the original price so we can do a comparison basically. So what this is saying is that it's had 30% off and then another 25% off. So it's saying there's 55% off here. It's better than half price. Now there's two different ways that you can go around doing this once you've found out what the original price is. I'll cover that in a minute. But first of all, let's find the original price. So £21. That is essentially 70% of the original price. So it's your full price with 30% off. So as a customer, you're paying 70%. So that would give you an answer of 0.3 pounds. So 30p is 1%. So 0.3 times 100 to turn it into the full price. So get it back up to that 100% value. So 0.3 times 100. And that will give you an answer of £30. So this item at full price was 30 quid. Now, there's two different ways you can do that. We've already identified that this offer is basically saying it's got 55% off. So you can work out what that is with 55% off, or you can just divide it by 2, find out what half price is, and then just do the comparison. Or like I say, you can just do a direct comparison. So if we just go down that route, let's find out what that is with 55% off. So if I times that by 0.45, because that's with the 55% off, that gives us a value of £13.50. Obviously, if we've taken 55% off, we're only paying 45% of the full price. So that's why I've times it by 0.45. That gives us 13.5. So £13.50 is what we should be paying if this offer is correct. So let's do the offer as it is now. So £21. I'm just going to times it by 0.75. So it's taken another 25% off there, which gives us an answer of £15.75p. And that's it. So we can do a direct comparison now. Is the customer correct? Yes, absolutely, because it should be at least better than £15, but it should, if we're doing it exactly, it should be £13.50, not £15.75. So that's the kind of thing you want to put in that explanation there. That's it for the reverse percentages. Hopefully that made sense. Do let me know in the comments. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more confident. And I'll see you on the next one. Do consider subscribing for more maths lessons for your functional skills level 2.